Good morning, everyone. This is Brian again. And I'm here in Charleston, West Virginia, having just gotten off of the Cardinal. I'm getting my trains mixed up here. This is Amtrak's train number 50, the eastbound Cardinal en route to New York Penn Station. And this is P42DC number 192 on the point. Just gotta let all the boarding passengers on first, and then it'll be underway. And off it goes. Next station, I want to say, will be Beckley, but I'd have to look at the map again. Now, I'm in no hurry, so let's watch this train disappear as it makes its way eastward. Cardinal's actually the successor to two trains from two different railroads. The section we're on right now, the section between Washington, D.C. and Cincinnati, Ohio, that was the Chesapeake and Ohio's George Washington, named, of course, after our very first president. Part between Cincinnati and Chicago, that was the New York Central's James Whitcomb Riley. Unlike the George Washington, which was a night train, the Riley was a day train. That one's named after the so-called Hoosier poet. Wrote a couple of works that eventually became, one, Little Orphan Annie, and two, the Raggedy Ann and Andy stories, from which those two dolls were made. Now over there behind the bridge, that's actually at the historic Chesapeake and Ohio Depot. It's hidden behind the bridge infrastructure here, so I'll have to get up closer and get a better angle for you. Well, that was extremely lucky. I asked the Holiday Inn Express that I'm staying at here in Charleston for just a place to drop off my bags while they get the room ready, and they actually had a room ready. Anyway, at this point you're probably wondering what I'm doing here in Charleston, West Virginia. Well, there's a little something called Tsubasacon. I figured I haven't been to it yet, seeing as how I want to see anime conventions in as many U.S. states as possible. Well, here I am, checking off West Virginia with a lunatic bun in tow. Yes, this is the traveling raisin I alluded to in a previous video. And who knows? Maybe she'll be able to fend off the whammies when Grego presents Anime Press Your Luck later today. Or was that tomorrow? I'd have to check the schedule. Well, that was Tsubasacon in Charleston, West Virginia. It's great to see Grego in his game shows. I happened to get on one of them, quite possibly the first running of the Trebek version of High Rollers that I think Grego's ever done for a convention. And my traveling raisin here actually turned a head or two, especially of a Suwako Moria cosplayer. We happened to meet by chance in the elevator last night, that being Saturday, October 12th. Anyway, now to get in some more rail fanning this evening, and then head on home. As I'm waiting for the westbound Cardinal back to Chicago, here comes a CSX freight heading east. Just a dynamic duo on the point. It looks like it's a coal load. I don't know how well you can hear me over the train just rumbling on through. dynamic duo in the middle of the consist. looked to be like a full load, too. There was another CSX freight where all 4 engines were on the point about 20 to 25 minutes before this one. And that was going pretty fast, too, but in the opposite direction. And there's the aforementioned westbound Cardinal Amtrak train number 51, with a final destination of Chicago Union Station. Incidentally, that's where I'm going. And that was P42DC number 135 on the point. So we're currently stopped in Huntington, West Virginia. This is our smoke break for the westbound Cardinal run. Incidentally, Huntington is the other city where Tsubasacon has been held, specifically at the Big Sandy Superstore Arena. Yep, there's our locomotive. It's a P42, all right. Okay, time to get back on. So now it's the very next morning, Monday, October 14th, and we're passing by all the coach yards on the approach to Chicago Union Station. This over here happens to be Metra. That locomotive you just saw a moment ago is a refurbished F40PH. Apparently Metra has a thing for EMD locomotives. And here's another one of those rehabbed F40PHs right now. Got a mixture of old and new gallery cars. The narrower windows are the older coaches, probably built by long-gone car manufacturers like Pullman Standard or St. Louis Car Company. Don't think there's any American car and foundry gallery cars left. In fact, I'd have to look up whether they even made any. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I'd have to check into that.
And ladies and gentlemen, they're going to bring us to yet another stop before we get into the station due to congestion inside the station. Thank you.
And there's a Metro train going past us right now. They had 2 locomotives on the point. Looked like one of them was an F40PH M2. And as you just heard, we've got track assignment shenanigans in the terminal. Oh joy.